Hello, everyone. A bit of fog in my throat. Give me a moment. It's very bright. I'm literally, as you can see behind me, it's just extremely bright. I can barely see my computer screen. It's that bad. It's that bright. I literally have to nearly go into the computer screen. How are we doing? It's been a while. How many days exactly? Just to check. I'm going to have to do a bit of tricking around the other seconds because it's a while since it's live. Only that's that. Just plug that in. Should be on. And just to check, it's either to get the right number. I might have the wrong number of the stream. I did say I probably would have been live tonight, but I didn't say what time. What was it? 101. Yeah, so I'm right in that. It's 102. YouTube changed a bit too. This hello. We're speaking German. How are we doing? I think I've ended up on the German stream. Things have changed on YouTube now. Here, there's new overlay and stuff like that. See, when was the last time I live? Because I just, to be totally honest with everybody, I just wasn't feeling up to it. To be totally honest, 9 days ago. Yeah, 9 days ago. So I just wasn't feeling up to going live. To be totally honest, so. And that's just the simple as that. Interesting. Yeah, so I probably should have put down. I didn't know myself what time I was going to go live at. To be totally honest with people, so don't shoot the message if I'm not telling you. I knew I probably would be live, Zach, because I kind of have to get back into gear a bit. So we have a bit to talk about anyway. We'll give it a few minutes just because people wouldn't know what time we're going to go live and stuff. So yeah, a lot has happened since I was last live. Jesus Christ, I hate these. Piggly. Yeah. How are we doing anyway? I'm sure you enjoyed the Boy show. I know that was on. Was it last week it was on? Because I remember seeing a video of it. Was it last week or this week? I can't remember actually, because I remember seeing it on YouTube, some video. It was in my recommended and I was watching it. Hello, Fiona. How are we doing? I hope everything's well. I hope having a good Saturday. It was a good day today, good weather. The last week has been shit. It's just been total rain all the time. But at least today is good. As you can see, I can barely see my computer screen because it's that bright. The sun's just blinding me. Like I generally have to squint to see what I'm saying because it's that you can see the just blinding light. But unfortunately, the days will be soon getting shorter too. And it won't be like this. It's 7 o'clock. It'll be dark. Hello, Sean. How are we keeping? Hope all is well this Saturday. Because in a few weeks' time at this stage now it'll be dark at this time. It'll be dark at 4 o'clock in the evening. But I suppose at least with that in Finland it'll be dark literally at only 4 hours a day, or something like that. Bright. Gordon, hello, Gordon. How are you doing? Everybody unfollow you. That's usually always the way. Everybody follow. They always go live at the same time. Yeah, we get to that in the UK. There's a lot to talk about in that. You have to be careful because the thought police might come around. You can't have an opinion. Unfortunately, the UK police will be banging at my door. You can't say that. So, I'm not even going to utter what I was just going to say, but I probably should say nothing. We don't want the old bill at the door. But yeah, I suppose we get started now. We'll give it another few minutes. We'll just chat among ourselves for a second. Let me see. I should probably put on some relaxed music. Oh, you in the UK on a holiday, are you? Well, don't be saying too much of the, you know, Keir Starmer will get you. The thought police will be after him. Yeah, but it hasn't been much of a good summer like here, the weather. The day has probably been the best day we had in a long time so far. Yeah, but it might have been warm, like it was warm, but it wasn't like bright and sunny. Yeah, it's been raining a good bit and stuff like that. It's not been, you know, um, it's not like it might be warm. I know it's very humid at night. It's very warm at night. You find it in your top. You find to get the hard to get to sleep or some stages because it's very humid and stuff like that. In Lancaster, oh, you're in England. Well, be careful, Keir Starmer doesn't get you. Um, but no, it's warmish here at night now. Dun dun dun. What's that? I suppose we will get started. So let me see. I have to walk out where I'm starting. Uh, so there's that much to talk. To be honest, I don't know really where to start from. Suppose I start with this. Give me a second. Yeah, enjoy, Sean. Of course, yeah. I'm gonna say that. Let me try to squeeze. Just tone that down. Actually, should be fine now. I suppose we start with sad news around the town in Cavan here at the moment. So when I was younger, this person used to live beside me. When I was young, when I was in my childhood house, when I was younger. This man who owns the shop used to live beside me, so I know him a good bit. Let's put I know him well enough. It's unfortunate that again, it's 36 years on the go. It's a long time in the town, but yeah, basically, it was a CD and ticket shop, Mudby Sound. Probably people who work through Cavan probably seen it in the main street. It had CDs and stuff. You could get tickets for different performances there, CDs and stuff like that, DVDs and old records too. You could get records there. You can see the old record player. But obviously, in the modern age now, there's not much need for. Unfortunately, and again, it's the sad way of the world that this is the only one that's left, basically, that you can buy CDs and stuff like that and get tickets and stuff. But the only brick and mortar place that you can buy stuff and go in and buy CDs and stuff like that. And it's unfortunate, but the business is not there. As simple as that, and it's just a straight up fact. When I was younger, we used to go in a good bit. We get CDs and stuff like that nowadays. But it's unheard of people buying CDs nowadays in the modern world because everything's online. And it's the same with tickets. He had tickets for Garth Brooks, he had tickets for this, he had tickets for that. But at the end of the day, nobody was really going in to buy it because he would add in his fee, and obviously it'd be nearly cheaper to buy it. So a lot of people just bought it online. So that's what basically got rid of the business. As you see CDs and deck and wine and stuff like that, different bags too. But see, that's what done him out of his business, unfortunately. But obviously, we wish Noel well and on his future endeavors. I think he could be retired now. I'm not too sure on that, but we wish him well, of course. But it's quite sad, especially because it's such a long time on the go. And unfortunately, the sad reality of it is this place now, this shop here, will be vacant. Nobody's going to take it up. Because the majority, there's loads of shops around the town that closed and they never were replaced, unfortunately. So that's what's probably going to happen here, unfortunately. But he's open to September. But it's unfortunate because, again, 36 years on the go. It's a long time. It is a long time. And it's a sad, especially for elderly people. The only people who usually went to the shop in the modern times are elderly people and stuff like that. But, they won't have anywhere to go now, so they have to go online now to buy CDs or whatever, maybe, or tickets. Hello again. So, yeah, it was mostly peaceful protests when they were there in like the Sky News crowd. I'm sure you've seen the video with swords and stuff. It was mostly peaceful, as they usually would say. I better be careful, Keir Starmer would get me. But it was mostly peaceful protests. So in that regard, but everything else wasn't peaceful. Keir Starmer says everybody's dangerous people. I better be careful because Keir Starmer could be watching. We get to that and we get to England eventually because there's a big, huge thing just to say. But I just wanted to mention that before I get started because it's a sad thing to see, especially because he's nice. He's a nice man. Particularly when I remember my father had a big operation. He had I can't think of the word, but it's a huge, huge operation he had a few years ago. He was always asking about my father, etc., etc. He was always a very nice man. Obviously, because we lived beside him for years, and my father lived beside him for years. He only moved recently to another area, but so we know him well. We know him very well, basically. Yeah, I think it was well because I was watching a few YouTubers and the riots and stuff like that. I was watching a few things happening in the background. But anyway. Yeah, so I just want to touch on this. So this was yesterday. And just to say, this is a first world country. And how many much, like somebody should ask this question to Stephen Donnelly. How many billions has been given to the HSE? Like, how many billions? Like, it's something like 30 billion a year or something like that, the HSE is funding. Like, it's insane. This country's literally with the same GDP. Like, there's islands in the Caribbean that only makes 30 billion a year. And we give this amount of money to the HSE, and I don't know how they do it. Yeah, as I say, yesterday was 360, nearly 400 people on trolleys in a first world country. Just to say, like, it's a sad joke when you see this happening. And especially because you remember during COVID, they were saying we're going to open up new hospital beds, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But at the end of the day, they done fuck all because it's still the same. And it's a shame because a lot of people had to wait, like these 12 people had to wait more than 8 hours or so to be seen to. Or to get even a bed. So again, a first world country, isn't it? That you have to sit in a chair for 8 hours before you get a bed. In some cases longer, in other cases around the country. But I know about in Cavan, I think it was 8 hours or something like that. And one person was 9 hours in a first world country, and you, God forbid, have a disease or you have cancer or whatever, or you had an injury and you're waiting for a bed or you're waiting for an to be operated on, and you give all this money goes to the HSE and it just goes down the memory hole and there's nowhere to be found. But it's a sad state of affairs. It is generally a sad state of affairs. Yeah, mostly peaceful. But just remember the top police might be about. So be careful the top police and Keir Starmer. I show you now in a second why I'm saying about Keir Starmer. People don't get it. But let's be fair. Obviously, people shouldn't have been going on looting shops, etc., etc. That's unacceptable for people to do, and to be attacking the police, etc. I know people are very angry, but at the end of the day, for literally posting the post on Facebook, etc., etc., the police shouldn't be banging down people's doors and threatening to arrest everybody, basically. I could say more on that, but that's what I say for the moment. Yeah, no bother, no bother. When's the 50th? That's Thursday, isn't it? Who have the wrong thing open? That's the wrong thing. To be fair, I have to write it down just so I remember it. Thursday, yeah. I was taking that. Did you say the 15? No, the 15 is the it is Thursday. You're right, sir. And I just write it down on my list because I have a few things on this next week. So yeah. I can do that for you. Anyway, hopefully, all going well. Anyway, let's something happens in the meantime. Uh, so, just I briefly just want to talk of this actually. Now, I don't think they're going to do it. Unfortunately, Irish government, because it's Irish people. Because too, what they're proposing, the Minister of Enterprise here, because obviously it's going to be a giveaway budget in October. They want the people to vote Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael in the general election, which could come in March. It could come before March. But long story short, Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael not in for a good time in the next election. Let's put that way. So they have to bribe people to vote for them. Basically, we're going to give you loads of money in the pension. They're talking about giving €20 extra for pensioners, etc., because they want the old vote, etc. But even if they did this for young people, for people my age, give them €750 annual credit for 25. So that's basically, they're not going to even stay for that. It would have to be 2,000 or 1,000. Because at the end of the day, what the fuck good is €750 for staying in a country where you could go to another country, take for example Australia, New Zealand, and you make double this amount of money. What's the point in staying? Because it's it's not good enough. Because at the end of the day, what good is giving €750 and somebody can't afford to buy a house or can't afford to rent the house? What good is €750 a year just to stay in the country? That's what I'm trying to say. There's not much tradition. Because the main issue is people can't afford to pay the rent every day, every week, basically, and can't afford a mortgage, etc. These are the issues that need to be addressed, not just giving 750. That's you wouldn't even in some places in the country, unfortunately, wouldn't even be a week's rent. So that's just the straight here. So why would somebody stay just to get that? And then the government fucks you over every day of the week, of course. But we're getting. What I'm trying to say is, if we do it a bit better than this, because at the moment it's shit, to put it lightly. Sorry, my throat is dry. That was a bit dangerous. So the Diocese of Kinmore, this is no shock to anybody. We all knew this. It was just kind of addressed. So by 2020, in the Diocese of Kinmore, this is Cavan and some Leitrim, etc. By 2020, it's projected there'll be only 27 priests left in the Diocese of Kinmore, which is nearly all of Cavan, and some of Leitrim, and some of Fermanagh too. So as you see, the 64 priests working in the diocese, while 44 are missions across the world, etc., to abroad, and 18 over to retire. So it's going to be a big problem now in 5 years, because there's only going to be 22 priests, give or take here, because the majority of priests in this parish are over 70 and 75 and over. Like the local priest down here is touching 80. He doesn't want to retire. He wants to keep going. So they're talking about what they're planning to do, because we all know it. Like there's priests here that have to do multiple parishes. Take for example, the priest here has to do 2 parishes. There's a priest I know in the other part of Cavan, and he has to do 4 parishes. He has to do 4 parish areas. And it's an insane amount of areas, especially when you think about you have to do weddings, burials. It's a lot. And then mass. It's a lot. Like take for example, Father Comiskey, he's the priest in Ballyhears, he's the priest in Castletower. They haven't been the town and the cathedral doing mass, so he's in 3 areas, and it's a lot of trekking about basically. But the sad reality is, and this is the thing, there's no new priests coming on, because again, and I will say, priests should be allowed to get married, and I know that sounds very controversial, but they should be allowed to get married, because it is a very lonely life as a priest, etc. So I do think priests should be allowed to get married, and I think women should be allowed to be priests, because there's women vicars, etc. And I think that should be allowed, because it might entice more people, because it is a very lonely life, I suppose. That's what I think, because it's not going to solve itself, even though the money is good and stuff like that in the priesthood. Like you get a free poker house, everything's paid for, your car allowance and everything's paid for. by the diocese. You have a free house. Your electricity and everything's paid for by the diocese. You get a huge sum of money every month, etc., etc. Like they do get paid very well. Again, one or two priests said they get paid ridiculously. They literally have probably 500,000 lines somewhere. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. They get so much money they have nothing to do with it, basically. But nobody wants to do it. It's too lonely of a life. But I just want to say, because it said about how many priests joined it. So it is a big change. So there's 64 now in the Diocese of Kilmore, and again, there'll be only 27 left by the time that comes around, give or take. So as I said, they're going to limited mass in some areas. Like, say, for example, it's 3 times a week. Like here in Butler's Bridge, it's every Saturday, every Sunday and every Wednesday evening. There's no talk about doing it in Butler's Bridge now, but just take, for example, Ballyconnor, take, for example. There's mass maybe on the Monday night, there's one on the Wednesday night, and there's one on a Sunday morning. They have to cut maybe one of them out. It's time to cut, etc., etc. Yeah, I can't remember. They were saying about how many priests. I only think in the last 15 years, only 14 priests joined the priesthood in this area. Which in the last 15 years or so. 14 out of 15 years. So, not many, basically. Yeah, well, obviously a lot of them don't want to do. Like, there's some foreign priests here. There's 1 or 2 foreign priests. There's a priest here actually from Lithuania, in some part of cavan. I know that from Lithuania. He's here on. I think he was sent here or something like that. I can't remember, but he's here anyway. And then there's a priest from some part of Africa here. Like, not many of them want to come to a rural place like this. They'll all be all in Dublin. But it's not the fact of the matter. Probably there's people that want to become a priest. But it's the fact of the matter, it's a very lonely life. I always thought that even before this happened. It's a very lonely life, and you're in a house on your own, etc., etc. And I do think women should be allowed to become priests too. I know that's very controversial, but I do think it should be allowed. Be totally honest. Because I've heard 6 or 7 priests in all my life saying it's a very, very lonely life. And they're always very depressed deep inside that, they were in a house on their own all the time and there was nobody to talk to, etc., etc. So I don't know. I know people probably would disagree on that, but because it's a different time, I suppose, too. And again, the way I see it too, it's not too blasphemy, if that makes any sense. Where am I here, sir? So I don't know what's going on at the moment, to be totally honest. So there's people literally going around this fucking county, like in a GTA game. Driver detected going 130 and 127 per mile or so on. And this is just one out of many. It's literally happened about 100 times to this stage. Like, in the last few days, there was somebody going at nearly, I think it was over 160, 170 in 100 kilometer hour zone. So basically, people in Cavan have gone fucking mad, driving in chaos, etc., etc. They've gotten fucking mad because, again, it was only recently I said about somebody going at 200 miles an hour in 150 mile an hour zone. That was a few months ago, and he was a loaner driver, etc. Like, people have gone fucking mad in Cavan, driving cows. It's a miracle how nobody's really been killed. Not many people killed. There was an accident at the Cavan border with Ogford this morning, but it's a miracle how none of these people have been killed yet. Simple as that. Because it's insane This is one out of probably 15 cases this month alone. People going way over the speed limit, 50 kilometers over the speed limit in some cases, 100 kilometers over the speed limit. You know, and not even being fully qualified driver, and they're going 100 kilometers. In some cases, like it's insane. And some people don't even have a license at all. Like it's insane. Like I don't know what's happened in Cavan recently, but people have literally lost their mind in terms of driving like this. So I don't know. I think it's the weather. Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is it's not the money bit. They get loads of money, obviously. They get well paid. They do get well paid. Like I know priests, they do get well paid. And they get a free poker house, etc., etc., free heating, free electricity, free this. The parish pays for it all. Same with the car; they can go to what's common if they want to do driving, and the parish pays for the fuel, etc., etc. You know, oh, it's not how bad into next week, but if that makes sense. But I do think it make more traffic because it is a very lonely life now, yeah. And particularly having a child too, you know, because God wants you to have a child and stuff like that, and to have a wife, etc., etc. I don't see it as too bad. You know, I know people would say that's wages, and I do think women should be allowed too. But they do get a weekly wage. They get well paid. They do get well paid. Like a lot of them have upwards of probably €500,000 just lying somewhere. You know, like they probably do. Like I could tell you 6 or 7 priests I know that have tons and tons of money. They just have it lying away somewhere. You know, like they do. Because the thing about it is they can't go and buy a house or anything because they live in the poker house and stuff. So there's nothing to do with the money. Yeah. Like the Diocese of Kilmore alone has, God only knows how much money. It's hundreds of millions of euro the Diocese of Kilmore has. Hundreds of millions. Hundreds of millions. Like in the hundreds of millions. But yeah, I don't know if people. Do you remember I was talking about there was a man. He was doing wood. He used a chainsaw. He used a chainsaw. This is all chainsaw. This is not anything else. It's all used by a chainsaw. He's originally from Poland. He's up in Donegal. He's up in Letterkenny. Up in Letterkenny in County Donegal. So Calvin Teddy Town's got him out to do this. Here's better photos. But they are really, really good. As you can see the detail too. Like this is all by chainsaw. Maybe a bit of chisel and stuff, obviously, but majority of it's chainsaw. You can see this is really, really good. Like you can see because again these are birch trees and stuff like that. They needed to be cut down, so they repurposed them, which is good. And especially you can see the detail too. Like it's insane detail. Like this is insane too. The sunflowers and stuff like that. It is quite insane detail. And the fact that he got all this done within a week is insane too. Then the fish too. I think I said about the fish. Like it's really insane. And then this one is like you can see the brick, like this, like it's insane. Like then we'll go back, but it's quite insane. He's really gifted in doing that. Hello, Shawnee. How are we doing? How are we doing this Saturday? But it is insane. Like it generally is insane. Like you tell me this is not insane. Now the majority of this was done by a chainsaw too. That's the most insane part of it. We'll move swiftly on. So I know I'm late to the party on this. I know such a word to say, but so in this case here, I know people probably said there's a lot of talk about it back a while ago. It was, like definitely this man was disturbed because I've seen the posts he put up online, etc. Etc. Seem to be a bit disturbed. To be totally honest, so he rammed the gates of Let's the House out and looked on the customs house, the Department of Housing. Basically, I don't know how he went from Morris and nuked one in the Phoenix Park down to government buildings and was able to ram out. Where was Don Goddard O'Connor? That's what we need to ask the question. So were they all asleep? Because the Phoenix Park is a long way. It's not that long, but it's a good bit of a distance away from the government sector, the Department of the Taoiseach, Department of Housing, etc. Not in the Phoenix Park, basically. So where was Don Goddard O'Connor? But basically, the good news is the Irish taxpayer has to pay for this. So isn't it great? But yeah, definitely, I know people are probably talking about it, etc. So definitely this man was a bit mentally disturbed in some cases. because going by what he's putting up online, because I've seen it, definitely uh, some kind of angle for some reason. I don't know why, but just wanted to briefly touch on that. I know. Well, unfortunately, we could have put in a request. Maybe they could have done it. They could have done it. They should have done it. That would have been awesome if they'd done it. It would have been the best thing ever. It's the best thing to ever happen in Cavan's the sliced bread. So any counts that are watching this, that's a great suggestion that Gordon has made. We need one in the set of Cavan. That's what we need. That's what's going to make our county great again. We need a wooden statue of Santa, and we need it done now. And how are we going to pay for it? We get the fucking people from Leitrim to fund it. That's what we're going to do. We're going to get the people from Leitrim to pay for it. Oh, it's not been bad. Not been bad. Not been bad. How has your day been? I know we've been on about 100 million things. So that's a great idea, Gordon. We have to send in our suggestions to the Cavan County Council. That's a great idea. That's what we need. That's what we all need in life. Sorry about that. Get my phone. Where am I now? Sorry. What was this? No, we're not in Fade Leitrim. No, we get a statue. We get a wooden statue made of Santa. We put it in the middle of the cap and we get Leitrim to pay for it. Leitrim can't pay for it if we invade them. So, I just want to talk about this. So it does seem to be true. I've looked into this a good bit. It does seem to be true. What's happened here? Because the GA released a statement, etc., etc. I know people have probably seen this already, but it seems like an asylum seeker. It does seem to be an asylum seeker because everything points to it. Now I don't know what's his name or what's his situation. Apparently, he was in court and stuff like that. So, but thankfully, nobody came to any harm. So that's the good bit of it here. As you can see, he was on the GA grounds. He was kind of pouring on children, I suppose, in a way you could say. From what I gathered, so it was that was happening. Yeah. So hopefully, I have to actually. I can double check that. I actually double check now because I think there was another post. Yeah, that's a great idea that we get a wooden statue of Santa. We need it. Everybody email the councillors. Give me a second, just double check this. Because I think there was an update to it. But if I've talked to some of the people around the area in King's Court, and they do seem to be off the same opinion. Everybody's saying the same thing, so it couldn't be, and especially because the local media are nowhere to be found in this, so it must be the case. So this is going from King's Court says no. But again, I could be wrong, so don't take everything. But this is what the local people are saying. So this is from King's Court says no. The guards invaded the man who was arrested yesterday appeared in court today and will not be turned to King's, so stay vigilant. So there's no. I don't think there's any videos of footage yet or a photo of the fellow, but I don't know what's the story. I presume they probably just what they call it, caution that we're not allowed to return to King's Court. If that makes any sense, I don't think they said in the prison, but definitely he's not allowed to go near King's Court, basically. So they'll probably set them somewhere else. We probably know more because this was Thursday. We probably know more in the Anglo South because it'll be in the court section, I presume. This week coming, but we don't know how to be done. So, but from what I gather, it seems to be somebody from who's in the asylum, etc. But we don't know how to be done for 100%. So I just wanted to believe that because people would say I didn't mention it. So that's all I know too. That's really what's been said. So what I was told too many times. Obviously, I didn't contact on Garda Síochána because anytime I'm contacting Garda Síochána, an open investigation, we can't get information. Yeah, the usual shit. So yeah, just wanted to bring that to you. Nobody would vandalize it. Who would vandalize it? Let's be fair. Like them things that are along the road for a few weeks, and nobody touched them. Uh, so hopefully it stays like that. But that's what we need. So everybody can email their couch to us now and ask for that. And that'd be great fun. No, I think in the middle of Cavan Town would be great, but it might. We can bring Santa over to open it. How does that sound? That'd be great. So this is from the radio television show and the state propaganda machine. So Simon Harris, the Taoiseach, is saying how Elon Musk and social media companies personally responsible for harmful content, etc., things that's misinformation, disinformation, far-right conspiracy theories, etc., conspiracy theories if they don't take them down. Now, obviously, I condemn anybody making any threats to anybody's family or to a politician, like in terms of threatening them and threatening to kill them and threatening to harm them. That's unacceptable. I'm sure everybody agree with that. It's unacceptable, especially bringing in somebody's family. Like if you have grievances with Simon Harris, so be it. But don't bring in his children. It's the same with anybody. I would say it's not his children's fault that anything he has done. So don't be doing that to anybody. But I do think at the end of the day, and this is the thing, it's up to people if they want to act stupidly and publish threats, etc., online. They just have to face the consequences, and social media companies should take action, of course, and that will get out of somebody's threatening people. But at the end of the day, it's that person, so he has to whoever the person posting it has to take responsibility for it because it's what they posted, etc., So it's up to them to face the consequences of it. But particularly what's sinister here is that they're saying about harmful content, etc. But define harmful content. I understand threats is self-explanatory. Threatening people, but harmful content could be something that's anti-government, for example, that the government doesn't want you to see, etc. And the same with conspiracy theories that usually prove to be true. Define harmful content. Define what that means, I suppose, in a way, because it could mean a very hate. Like to anybody, what's harmful to different people could be different to everybody else. But obviously, to an ordinary Joe, would be images of children, sexual images of children, sexually exploited images, images put up without people's consent, etc., sexual images, your personal information, etc., too, in a threatening manner, doxing, etc., That could be harmful, but to a lot of people, it could be different things. There's no such thing as probably defining it what it is. But we should see what happens to that. But they're planning to fine people fine Elon Musk and other companies into oblivion if they don't take down what the government wants taken down, basically. So we see how that goes. Pizza toppers. Oh, I just like pepperoni because there's no really any pizza toppers. Just pepperoni doing me fine. Yeah, pretty much too. But see, this is the thing. And the government kind of realised this, and even the British government have realised that the social media is the main media nowadays. It's not the mainstream media. So that's why you see at the moment Keir Starmer's literally having a fit and saying, I will arrest everybody who misgenders anybody online. That's literally what he's at the moment. Because they can't shut people up on social media, unfortunately. They can do it in real life, but they can't do it on social media. They can do it in the press and stuff like that, but they can't do it on social media. That's the problem we're having. So that's the big issue of the day for them. What is this? So yeah, this is to do with the Strand of the Fire. I'm sure people remember it. Elderly people, it's way before my time. In 1981, it was a big nightclub fire that claimed loads of victims. Now, this is 81 is a long time ago. I'm sure people will agree. This should have been done a long time ago. To be totally honest, they put it straight up. It should have been done a long, long time ago. Because again, 81, we're in 2024 now, just to say. So it's not acceptable that people that it took this long for people to get it's not accepted that it took this long for them to get some kind of compensation. Because at the end of the day, what happened in this nightclub too was the government's fault in the fire authorities and the Dublin City Council, because there wasn't proper fire procedures, there wasn't proper fire doors, etc. The fire doors were locked, etc., etc. So at the end of the day, the business obviously takes full. They should take the full responsibility. The government have a bit, the fire agency, etc., etc., a bit off the blame to have here too, because it wasn't properly, and especially because it took so long too. It shows that the government wanted to kind of bury it under the carpet and pretend that it never happened. But it took far too long for this to happen. That's what I'm trying to say. This should have been done long ago. Now, so obviously with people going to secondary schools, colleges, obviously people looking for accommodation, etc., etc. And this is unfortunate what's happening, as we see. So many people being scammed, and this is particularly now, and this is the problem nowadays, that the majority of these apartments, etc. Years ago, you would have to go and meet them, etc., etc., and see the apartment. Nowadays, they just give you an address, and here you pay the money over online, and you don't get talking to people, etc. So it's obviously it's basically scam. Scammers could just control it basically, and this is what's happening. And this happened in Cavan, would you believe, a few months ago. There was a person that was coming from some part of Ireland, and they paid loads of money up for thousands and up front to get a small, I think it was a small apartment in the town there. And when they turned up, there was no such thing as the address. There wasn't an address, but there was nothing for them because they were private houses. They wouldn't rent it out, if that makes any sense. So basically, there was such thing as the address, but there was no, basically the place that he was supposed to be renting or whatever the case was be, it didn't exist. There was only all the houses there that were private, owned, etc., etc. And the guards never caught that person that scammed that person. But just to say, this is what's happening. Because again, the majority of these, like in that case, for example, they never talked to the person, etc. So it was all over the social media messages, WhatsApp particularly, and the messages were just sent. Send the money to this account. That was it. There was no talking over the phone, meeting up in person, etc., etc. So they were all just red flags straight away. But that's the way That's the way life has gone, over the phone, social media, not in person anymore. And this is what happens, unfortunately. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, but to the government it does. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you bring in people, when the demand's there, the prices go up. Simple as that. When there's demand, the prices go up, and when you bring in a huge amount of people, the prices go double up. But the government don't want to listen to sense. Yeah, well, I don't think like Elon Musk will be fine. Like he's already taken on the UK government. Like he's posting like a man possessed at the moment on Twitter, challenging the UK government on different things. So obviously being the richest man in the world, I don't think they could really do much. Basically, I don't think they could do much to set him. Because when you get to a point of being the richest man in the world, you just don't care anymore about what they do. In terms of financial, confine them into oblivion, they still probably wouldn't care. But it's obviously very sinister, especially some of the languages coming out of the UK at the moment. It's very sinister. Now, we'll get to that probably in a second, but the UK, we'll get into a full discussion about that. So this came out. So the head of the Special Detective Bureau, basically the people that's supposed to be taking on organised crime, terrorism, etc., in the state, says there's Russia's spying in Ireland, along with other countries through China, etc. It's very self-evident that China is, because there was literally a Chinese communist police station in Ireland. However, that turned up here, and obviously they knew about it. The state knew about it, etc., etc. So it's very self-evident that the state is nearly involved in this too. But not even this. This is the glaring fact here, that the fellow over on Godalsheen O'Connor, the head fellow over on Godalsheen O'Connor, it's MI6, it's MI5. He used to be in the PSNI, the OIC take, was Drew Harris. Now, good news about Drew House, he won't be there probably for much longer because Drew House's contract as Garda Commissioner won't be probably reinstated. So basically, every few months or every year or so, the contract gets reevaluated, etc. So they don't plan to. I can get the article up, but they don't plan to reinstate Drew House next when his contract's up as Garda Commissioner. So basically, he's getting the sack, basically, as he probably should be, because the no Irish Gardaí we can get, basically. Is there nobody in An Garda Síochána Conaill that's an Irish person that's served in An Garda Síochána Conaill? Because again, to be totally honest, if you're a commissioner for a Garda station, commissioner, the Garda commissioner, whatever, deputy commissioner, it's the same in the United States if you're a sheriff, a local sheriff, or in Finland, or in Norway, or whatever, or in England. You should be from the local police force. You should be a Garda that walked his way up for the last 30 years, take for example. It should be somebody that was in the force for a good few years, basically. It shouldn't be just getting people from outside, basically, to come in. That's the way I see it. Because you should walk your way up, basically. And it's very self-evident, just to say this is a different topic, but it's very self-evident that nobody wants to be the deputy commissioner. There's no Irish people that want to be the deputy commissioner. It's very telling when you see that. So we'll talk about it in a second, I suppose. That's another thing with the topic. So what I'm saying with this, so it's obviously obvious that MI6 and MI5 are still in Ireland. It's very obvious that the British intelligence service still have agents in the country. It's very obvious. It's very self-evident. We obviously know about China. I say Russia probably is because Ireland's very strategic. It's a strategic value in where it's located in Europe, at the cornerstone of Europe, basically. And obviously, it's very vital for the Russian government, particularly, to know what the Irish government are thinking. Are they thinking about joining NATO? What is happening? So it's possible. It is possible that Russia is here. But what I'm mainly worried about is why MI6 and MI5 is there here, and why this Chinese police station was in Ireland. Why is there Chinese agents in Ireland, etc., etc. Now, I will admit, the Russian embassy in Dublin is quite a big embassy for the size of the Russian population here. But what can you do, I suppose? But what I'm trying to say is, and obviously then to have Finnish intelligence here, there's a few Finnish operatives here. I think it says the Finnish here. There's loads of Finnish operatives just around the gaff. But it's no surprise because basically there's no counterintelligence service here. Like these people that's coming in asylum seekers, who knows what government they're working for too. That's another thing, because the majority of people just turn up out of the blue. It's true, there's so many of them just coming in that could be working for fucking Mexican Secret Service. They could be, because they're not even being checked. They're just coming into the country. Like some of these asylum seekers could be working for the Ethiopian Special Detective, something like that. Or we could have people from, Egypt's special detective unit, which could be happening. They can just walk into Dublin Airport. They don't get checked. They get a free accommodation and everything. So it's very easy. But obviously, it's very obvious that the Chinese Secret Service and stuff have impact here, and obviously MI6 and MI5 too. And then obviously the Finnish are here too. Of course, the Finnish are involved in this too. Because again, the Garda Commissioner said the Finnish people are Finnish spies working in the state. It's roast. Yeah, it's very humid. Yeah. Yeah, it was not even just Russia; it's China and it's the British, etc., etc. My main, I don't know about the Russians so much. I say there probably is. I'm not going to dispute that. There probably is. Because when the Ukrainian war started, say, for example, there was a letter sent from the Russian government to the government in Dublin, asking them what's the Irish position. And they're joining NATO, or they're going to remain neutral, etc., etc. So that's what was said. Because it's very strategic for Russia and to have Ireland as a neutral country. And obviously Ireland doesn't want to join NATO either. So. But what I'm trying to say, no country should spy on another country, basically. Because let's be fair, there's no such thing as an Irish intelligence agency. So basically, you won't find an Irish agent just wandering around France or something like that, because there's no such thing. It's just a small detective unit. That's basically it. And the majority of these special detective units, the best part of it all, they're going around after Irish people. They're going around after Irish people that post stuff they don't like, basically online. That's what they're doing. That's the majority of the time what the special detective unit are doing. There's people I've heard of 3 or 4 occasions. People I know that were investigated for what they said because they didn't agree with the government, and the special detective unit ended up at our house because they were far right extremists. Even though they should be probably going after the people from Islamic State, etc., because it's very well known that Islamic State, ISIS had training camps up in the Wicklow Mountains. It's very, very well known that it did happen and was just brushed aside, basically, all forgotten. But obviously, being a neutral country too, if you look at the video, even Switzerland, for example, it's very like obviously being a neutral country, you would get spied on a bit more, and that might sound stupid, but it does happen. Like you think about during the Cold War, etc. There's so many American spies and stuff. Take for example in Austria. Austria wasn't a part of NATO, or wasn't a part of the Soviet Union. Take for example, and even in Switzerland during the Cold War, there was American spies, there was British spies, there was French spies, there was Soviet spies, all in Vienna. Take for example, there's videos online about it. It's trying to spy on each other. Yeah, because that's what was happening. And you might ask why they were neutral countries. Because see, neutral countries are a bit more relaxed in terms of security and stuff like that. So they want to spy on countries from safe areas. Yeah, but no, this is a while ago. They're probably not there now. But back probably before 2019, so there was definitely ISIS fighters training up in the Wicklow Mountains. It definitely must be true because there was never any investigation done. It seemed to be true because there was never anything talked about. But it does seem to be true. And the special detective unit was nowhere to be found. Now, so this is just to say, think before you post. This is true in a way, but basically, if you don't like what we're telling you to do, the UK government, if you dare misgender somebody or dare call somebody a different name, or dare even raise your opinion, that's the jail prison for them. And as you can see here, it's not going too well for them, in a way. And you don't want to see the replies because, and just before the UK government goes any further and be like, we have the West's man for this, that. The Constitution of Ireland, and again, whatever the UK laws, the Constitution of Ireland, even though whenever they bring the hate speech bill here, maybe they can do it. But the Constitution of Ireland is the right to an opinion. The same as every other citizen in the country, so I can share my opinion on it. So if they have an issue with it, they can take it up with the Constitution because I do have to abide by UK laws, but the same as any other citizen, we abide by our own country's laws. So that's just putting it straight. But it's funny how they have the resources to try and police social media if you dare criticize the UK government, and they don't have the resources to stop people from literally stabbing people in the streets. That's very funny. I have to ask the UK government why that is. But yeah, this is something straight up. This is very in this case here. Think before you post. This is very threatening manner, basically. So this is threatening. This is inciting threats. This is basically what this is doing, and just the tone that they're using. They're inciting threats, and this is from the official UK government account. Excuse me. What were you saying? F5 button on the computer has a secret communication distress. Yeah, of course I do. It would be awesome. I mean, in the game, of course, in the game to the Irish detective, watching this in the game, of course, in the game. Oh, don't talk to me about that clown that literally is having a meltdown that Alan hasn't joined NATO. He literally has a meltdown. Like literally, I've seen him have literally meltdowns over Alan not joining NATO. Like he needs to take a chill pill, just please. But, like he's entitled to his opinion, but how about the Irish people decide that? Yeah. 1984. Anybody? So so obviously the violence across the UK. There was violence in Northern Ireland, in Belfast. Obviously, nobody should be breaking up anybody's shop. Of course, that's very self-evident that nobody should be doing that, because at the end of the day, the only business is trying to make a living, etc. So they shouldn't be doing that to burn people's shops or loot anybody's shop. Shouldn't be the case. Um, you know, but thankfully things have calmed down a good bit. But um, there's still very much tension. But see, this is the problem, even in Ireland too. Just taking the UK too, for example, immigration, even across the Western world, the Western democracies, tension is brewing because no government really in the Western world, same in the United States with people just crossing the border, they never addressed the elephant in the room, basically, on immigration. The same as the Irish government, they never addressed it. They never have addressed it, still have never addressed it. And that's causing a lot of anger and annoyance because they simply won't listen to people. They won't have a proper secure borders, etc., etc. They don't believe in borders, majority of governments. Until they do that, people are going to be very angry and very annoyed. And that's as simple as that. And the same with the Labour government, even more because people are turning up every night on boats, on small boats to the English Channel. And there needs to be, they need to take action. And when they take action, people will calm down, of course. But the fact of the matter that it's very definite, not even just in England alone, but just talking about Ireland even too, that it's just deaf silence. Nobody wants to take any action. Like they talk a big game about we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But at the end of the day, people turn up every day with no passports and yet let into the country, 3-star hotel, 4-star hotels, 5-star hotels, all the money of the day. Heaven and earth is spent to try and get them in. People will be very angry after all that, and it's the fact of the matter never been addressed. It's always just keep going. Ignore it, say nothing, shut up. We lock you up and stuff like that. And that's obviously going to cause a lot of anger because that's what's happening, unfortunately. Because people that are living in the country are only second-class citizens. Same in the UK. People that turn up out of the blue usually get everything handed to them for free. It's the same what happens here. I can tell you of a few cases of people, even my father, take for example, he couldn't get a free bus ticket. He's entitled, obviously being a pensioner, to get a free bus ticket on CIE buses, etc., etc. He had to go fighting for that, and these people that turn up out of the blue get free things handed to them. And that doesn't need to be addressed, and the fact that it never has been addressed, and why it's such a rigmarole for elderly people that have walked out of life in the stage, can't get that, and people that turned up only for a day get it handed to them a free medical card, free this, free that, free the other. It's the fact that that never has been addressed, and same with the UK, I'm sure it's happening the same way. People will eventually be very angry at it, because it's a two-tier society, and that's what's happening in the UK too. It's a two-tier society. Different groups get treated better than the people who are from the country, and that shouldn't be the case. Simple as that. At most, everybody should be treated equal. Simple as that. That they have to wait their turn, etc., etc., to get a house, etc., etc. That should be the way it is instead of being prioritized. But that's just my opinion. But again, I'm just a far-right conspiracy theory. But again, just giving my opinion. So go shoot the messenger. So moving on to the Finnish government, of course. So in the infinite wisdom, as you can see here, it's time to cut 2.0. So basically, what these gum beans, this prime minister and the True Finns, etc., etc. So basically, they're going to cut your money. Basically, people who are dying with cancer on sickness allowance, who only have maybe a few months left, a few years to live, because they have cancer, etc., etc. In some cases, the case they might recover, etc. But basically, there's a special sickness allowance for people with cancer. And the government and the infinite wisdom have said, we're going to cut you. We're going to take 20% of your money every week. You might be dying of cancer, but we're going to cut your money. So they're very nice, aren't they? Not to mention the mess they've created. So that's nice. No bother. Okay, what is this now? But yeah, long story short, this is very cruel. Like whatever but anything else they've done before, But this is extremely cruel. Like if the Irish government done this too, I'd be calling them literally the most evil fuckers ever. But this is extremely cruel for people who literally are, in some cases, dying with cancer. Who only have a few months to live, and they're going to take half the money away. And this is the best part of it too, that the MPs, they're own less than an Irish MP, but there's the fact of the matter, they haven't been cut yet. Everything else has been cut, but they haven't been cut. So why is that? Somebody please explain that. But long story short, the Irish government are not innocent in this too. Because a few months ago, I think they talked about this a few months ago, the Irish government, basically, you know the way people have, women can have breast cancer and stuff like that. In some cases, they need to get their breast cut off. So there is a scheme, or funding, I suppose, because some women have to get their breast because of their breast cancer or other diseases. So they only have one breast, basically. So long story short, there's been a scheme for the last few years, for probably the last 20 years in the country. So this is probably last year or some stage. The Irish government, so there's a grant basically. What that's the best word to use. The Irish government had a scheme basically for people who had their breasts cut off, because obviously they can't just have an ordinary bra, because they only have one breast. They need a special kind of bra. And obviously that's not cheap, basically. It's not that cheap because it's a special designed bra, etc. etc. I know it's weird talking about it as a man, but just want to give you context about it. The government would pay so much towards, and the person would pay so much too. So the government would cover 30% of it, 40% of it, and the other person would cover the next 20% of it. So basically, say the government pay, because again they are dear enough. The government would give you €40 towards it, right? And you pay the extra 20, so that's €60 for a few, for the bras. So long story short, what the government wanted to do in the infinite wisdom, and you probably were saying how much did it cost the Irish taxpayer? It only cost about $1 million or so a year to do it, which isn't much, and especially because these people literally had their breasts cut off and could have died. The Irish government wanted to get rid of that funding. They wanted to get rid of it, cut it, time to cut. This is back in thankfully they didn't do it, but they were threatening to do it, the Irish government. So basically, the people that literally could have died, of breast cancer, the government were like, you know what? And this was an Ireland, just to say, they wanted them to pay for the whole lot of it, even though it wasn't that much, and it was the least they probably could do. But again, thankfully the heads prevailed, because again, it would have turned into a big scandal. In fairness to Joe Duffy, of 40, I know I don't have much time for 40, but in fairness to Joe Duffy, he was the person that brought it up. He was the only one in the mainstream media that actually talked about it and interviewed a woman that it was going to happen to it. So in fairness, give Joe Duffy a bit of credit here, because in fairness, he was the one that got it out, that the government were doing it, because they never announced it or anything, that they done it silently, trying to make sure it wouldn't get public, because it looked very disgraceful to come out and say that we're doing this. It wouldn't look too good with the photos. It's the same as this. That it doesn't look too good. But thankfully, cool heads prevailed. It only took a week for them to force that decision, because let's be fair, it would have caused a huge scandal, because they talk about the care about women's health, the care about women, especially we've seen about the suffragette checks, etc., etc., the failure of the government to care about women, etc., etc. And it would look terrible on the government to do that, and especially because they couldn't use the argument it was cost, because it wasn't that deal. But thankfully they went back, but basically that's the same thing that's happened here. It's just very cruel and disgusting to do something like that, basically. Far-fetched. But it is very cruel. But that's what I said. But that's what happened there. And in fairness to Joe Duffy, he was the only one that talked about it. But but it was extremely cruel what the government wanted to do. But thankfully they didn't do it, because it would have cost just a big uproar. And so, understandably, just talking about big uproar, there's a huge uproar, basically. And I mean literally huge uproar. And this government, it's only 414 days in government in Finland, has the honour, of being the most untrusted government in Finnish history. Like, literally has the lowest public trust of any government in Finnish history. So they've achieved something special there. Because usually there's high public trust, etc., etc., in government. Basically, this was the last nail in the coffin for them, to put it lightly, because they've literally cut everything. So the literally do now is start cutting people who literally are dead. That's because start doing taking all their money because that's the next move. Because the fact of the matter is they haven't cut their own money yet. Yeah, and then obviously the people are not happy with this, so they're talking about doing the new train line, and it's only going to reduce it for an hour and a quarter, and they're going to spend 1.4 million on it. Um, you know, so people are not too pleased. So let me start it up. But I just wanted to say that because no, it is disgusting. Now I'm sure anybody would agree. It is a disgusting thing, and especially because they're hell bound on doing it. Like they haven't backed down an inch on it. Like, they're just like, we're going to do it. It's time to cut. And the fact that the minister, the leader of the True Finns thing was happening, even back then, when it happened in Ireland about the people when they got the breast cut off, special prayers and stuff like that, I was very critical of it, and I'm sure everybody was, because it's a disgusting thing to do to people that could have nearly died. And some, in this case too, literally some of them are literally on death's door, don't have a few months to live, a few weeks to live. And it's a very it is generous. It's something like 700 or so a week. It's very generous. But again, you have to remember a lot of these people don't come out of it. They never will be seen again. They only have a few months, a few years, and that's it. They have not much left to do. So it's understandable why it would be generous because a lot of these people don't come out of it. They never get back to normal life. And for the fact of them to go and cut it, and especially a big, huge percentage, it'd be only about maybe 300 from 700 and something. It could be 300 now or 400, But it's the fact of the matter they've done it. It's very cruel because, you think they would want to cut their own salary, MPs, etc., but there's not a word of that. So, But, just what the top of this to relation to Finland at the moment. Proposed. And this was top of when I was there just then too. So they don't know. So I don't know. It's 50-50 will they pass it. So there's a huge amount of public support for it. Like, in fairness, there's a lot of public support for it. But it's the fact of the matter is that it might break international law in some cases. It's still plain to be seen. But as you can see, there's a lot of people supporting this. Because there's a lot of Russian citizens buying up property in Finland, and they want to kind of stop that. So that's what they're doing. So any Russian citizen that buys, if this bill passed through the Houses of Parliament in Finland, no Russian citizen can own property in Finland. So we'll see what happens, because there's one incident in Finland too. There's a Russian kind of related to the Kremlin, something to do with an oligarch. He bought up properties in Finland, etc., etc. So what I think he's doing, many people think he's doing, is he's trying to kind of bring people into Finland. To try and I don't know how you would phrase it, but basically, there's Russian oligarchs buying up properties, etc., etc., which probably is true. So, the only thing there for this government, the current government in Finland, the only thing they got supported with is the border law, where they can turn around asylum seekers. So take, for example, I want to go and seek asylum in Finland. I know that sounds stupid. But if I turned up now at Helsinki International Airport without getting a residency permit to stay after 3 months, take, for example, I would need, the border guard could turn me around straight away. He doesn't need a reason. He can turn me around and say to go back in the plane and fuck off and never come back. They don't need a reason, basically, the border guards. They can take in who they want to take in, and they can send home straight away. They don't have to bring you into the country. They can send you home straight away. And the same with people turning up without any passports. They could just send you home. They don't even turn up to the country. Just put you back in the plane and goodbye. So that's what they're doing. So obviously there was huge public support for that. That was the only thing the government actually did that was some way supported by the Finnish public. And the only reason why they did it, the only reason why that bill passed too, is the Social Democrats supported them. So I don't know what people think of this. But long story short, for this bill to pass, if it does go to the House of Parliament, does make it through to the Houses of Parliament, they need I think it's a 150 majority, 156 majority. So that means they will probably need the Social Democrats to vote for them. So Sanna's party, basically, they would need them to vote with them, basically with the government. So it's 50-50 with the Social Democrats vote with them. We see, because definitely the Left Alliance is not going to vote with this bill. But what I'm trying to say is the first time probably in Europe that this kind of bill was proposed, that any citizen can stop, prevent somebody buying a property in the country, in the European Union, I suppose. Because I think it does break international law a bit, but we see what happens. But what I'm saying is there is a problem, because when I was there too, they were saying about Russian oligarchs coming along and buying properties. Because a lot of them are probably fleeing Russia too. But see, the problem is that they have at the moment, they can't flee across the Russian border because the Russian border is shut down. All borders is in a big discussion. So there we are. Sorry, I just want to give my 50 cents on it. Oxymenium. So I'm going to go off now in a second. So I hope you're ready for a long lecture. For about a month. Are we looking forward to that? Give me a second, sorry, just getting this because I know it's about to go down. Shit's about to hit the fan. Now there's a few other things about the topic, so it's going to be a bit long tonight. This live stream, that's what that. So people are looking forward to, because there's a few more things about the topic which I'm going to probably go off at too. Excuse me. It's starting to get dark now. It's 8 o'clock. Mm-hmm. Oh, no. Pig Gilly. Why is this not open? Fucking bollocks with it. Sorry, give me a second. It's the washings. No, this is not the thing. Fucking stupid thing. Does anybody else have anything else to say at the moment? But if there's anything else anybody wants to talk about, just when I'm looking for this, he's looking for money. Where in the name of God? Don't go. Literally, I said I'm here for another hour. Because I have a good bit more. This is the tip of the iceberg, especially when you're not live so much. You have a lot more to talk about. So I'm not going in, but hello, Tony. Right, are we ready to go on? Because this is going to take about 30 minutes for me to go get ticket. Not to get through it all. Because it's going to be, so long story short, this lunatic. This lunatic here, what have you got? The minister, the deputy prime minister in Finland. It's time to cut. What she's trying to do is here. Is trying to gaslight people. Basically, to put it straight to you, she's gaslighting people that Sandra Mallon is to blame for all this hardship, all these cuts, etc., etc. She's trying to gaslight people, saying they caused this. We're just cutting things. Like, this is gaslighting beyond belief, because it's just because the fact of the matter is that the debt, like this woman's obsessed with paying off debt, allegedly, of course, because I don't see what she's trying to do, because she's literally cut all of Finnish society to the bare bone, cut 9 billion out of public services, 9 billion euro, and made people poor, etc., etc. But long story short, things actually have got worse. Basically, to put it lightly, there's more people unemployed. There's more people seeking help from charities, etc., etc. So and not even to mention the debt. The debt has gone up and it hasn't gone down in any way, shape, or form. So basically, long story short, she's trying to gaslight people, thinking that we've done a great job. We're helping everybody. But long story short, basically just trying to blame somebody else. Where was it? As this person says, like, you're the minister for, like, she's literally crying, and this is the way, like, she keeps wailing, and I love the word wailing. Like, she's the minister of finance, and she's literally wailing and crying that this other government's to blame, the former government. And as it says, like, I know the translation might, because it says he, but it should obviously be she, was under such pressure that would have called up and cried. Try and be an adult. This is the thing, like, because she's not an adult. She's a big man child, whatever you would want to call her. Because deputy prime minister, my whole. Because it's literally such bullshit. Because the problem of the matter is, and this is the thing that she doesn't understand, this deputy prime minister, that the problem is that the debt has gone up. It's not gone down. And the loans that the previous Finnish government had were nearly paid off when this government came in. And see what they done. These lunatics, they came along and took even bigger loans with bigger, you had to give bigger paybacks, etc. Bigger, what would you call it? What's the word? Interest, bigger interest. So basically, they've completely fucked everybody over. And not to mention, she's trying to blame people that the Social Democrats cut all this infrastructure and all this money for society, etc., etc. She's trying to blame that on them, even though she is the finance minister now. Like, she is the one cutting it, and she's literally just saying it's Sanna Marin who cut it. Literally, when she's there, literally as the finance, like the one who made the decision to cut it. And the fact that she's cried about the previous government doing it, when literally her herself is doing it. And that's basically what's happening here. The one who's literally doing it is blaming the other government that wasn't there even at the time and didn't cut anything. It's insane. Like, as this person says, Martin was even 3 years ago. What has this government achieved? What does it come up with? Unemployment. We aim Greece and Spain. The debt, basically, the debt ship is just basically sinking ship. Basically, it's got worse. There's not enough money. There's not enough money for an hour and a quarter train. But basically, long story short, there's another big scandal at the moment that funding 4 coats. There's basically 4 coat providers of bails and stuff like that. They're giving loads of money to them. I don't know what kind of drugs they're on, but they literally are giving money to companies that supply 4 coats. And literally, when people are going to charities looking for food and stuff because they can't afford to live, and they were giving money to 4 coats, to support 4 coats. It doesn't make any sense, because basically they've achieved nothing. This government of the whole. Even though the Social Democrats, I would say that the tax would have went up anyway. It's but they would have went up. But basically, they're planning to up it even more. like I think this woman's generally just an anarchist. To be totally honest, because she doesn't seem to understand that she's the deputy prime minister and the minister for finance. So basically, she's insane, basically. Adebayo, yeah. But in fairness, he's actually talking some sense because what have they done? What really have they done to help anybody? But no, do you know? Like it is insane. The gaslighting there, like it is generally insane. Because the fact of the matter is, what they said at the beginning of during the election when Tanner was lost the position as prime minister, they will handle the debt, etc., etc. And the fact of the matter, the debts just keep going. The debt just keeps going up, even though they cut €9 billion out of the budget. So where was that? Like even the Ministry of Finance itself said basically the cutting of €9 billion to the public expenditure. Basically did fuck all to anybody. Basically it didn't achieve anything. The debt's still the same, basically. So it's the fact of the matter too that is that they took bigger loans. You know the way Irish government takes loans, etc. So the EPC and all that. They took bigger loans with bigger interest, basically. So they'd be paying more out in interest, etc., etc. To the European Bank, etc., etc. Even though the previous government took out loans that they could pay back, that didn't have much debt, that didn't have much interest, etc., etc. So basically, they've completely just fucked up the whole lot. Basically, another one as simple as that. So, yeah. But in Finland, you have to remember that there'll be a lot of Ukrainian flags everywhere. They're very pro-Ukraine. Again, it all goes back to their history, etc., etc. Because when you're there in person, you kind of understand when you're talking to them that it does make sense from what they say. Wish. Oh, me money from the Social Democrats, €5,000. Oh, see, it's always good to be a shill for the Social Democrats. I'm only joking. Not the Social Democrat, not Holly Collins now, of course. Holly Collins doesn't like, but give me a moment. Just give me 2 moments. Give me a moment. Sorry, I'm just looking this up. Like even even the Ministry of Finance itself. Like imagine they cut 9 billion. I don't want to buy furniture, thank you. Like the debt ratio continues to grow, despite literally cutting everything to the bone. It's quite insane. Like it is genuinely insane. How they're fucking this up so much. Like I don't know who's advising them. I think Norma Foley's literally there advising them because Norma Foley's nowhere to be found. So I presume she's over in Finland, just fucking them over. Also, things have got that bad. It's 210 billion in debt. Like by the end of this year. So basically, since they took office, everything's just fucked. As I said, spending cuts without that, like it's insane. The amount of spending cuts, billions, trillions of euro, and they basically it didn't do anything basically because it just got worse because they have taken out bigger loans. See, when the country's in debt, it's the same really with Ireland. We have to pay back bigger interest if a country's in debt. Obviously, if you take out a loan, you have to take bigger interest, etc. And the more money you take out, obviously, the more interest. So what this government did, they took out big loans with big interest, and they completely just fucked it. If it wasn't fucked before, they definitely fucked it now. So they're just completely insane people. Basically, that's one in this place at the moment, to put it lightly. Your video has gone. Oh no, the West has fallen. Can you see me now? Oh my, can't see me. Oh, well, I don't know why that happened. You can see me now, Catherine. Yeah, like that, insane. Like especially because this just literally said it. The Ministry of Finance, like they basically just admitted that everything they've done basically is fucking no good. Like all these spending cuts, etc., etc. Not black now. The true Finns, they're after me. Oh no! I always knew the true Finns would get me. The true Finn cyber attack. But this is the thing. This is the crazy thing, Sean. Guess who's over the Finnish Secret Service, like the intelligence office of the Finnish government? Guess what they did as soon as they got in. So the person that was over the Finnish intelligence service retired. Basically, as soon as that government came, he was near retirement age. And basically, guess who they put in? A party member of the True Finns. And I'm not joking. Literally, a party member and a person that donated to the True Finns. So basically, they actually put in somebody that was in their party, that literally has membership of the party. They literally put them in. But they don't have membership now, but they were members and they used to donate to the True Finns. So basically, if you talk about Fianna Fáil, Fianna Gael, like that's plainly obvious that literally they have literally people that are in the True Finns in the Department of the Intelligence in Finland. That's like it's actually insane. I get the article too, but this is what's happening. So this is just to put in perspective. So this is even during the war, etc., etc. For the first time, literally since the 60s, this is what's happening. People are literally going to the churches looking for help, for food and stuff like that. It's quite extraordinary. And again, Finland used to be one of the most richest countries in the world. And people used to have the most high quality of life in the world. And you see this now. Yeah, like you see, the churches offer 3.5 million euros in aid and stuff like that. It's insane when you see this in a country that was more developed than you or me. Like not developed than you or me, but our country, basically. What I'm trying to say, and it's insane. Yeah, like the cut, like as I said, the benefits, like the social, used to be obviously the social welfare states are the big social what you call it, so welfare states. So the church literally has to help people now because that's so bad. So people literally, there's no money for food and stuff, and this is one of the richest countries where they have one of the highest incomes, etc., etc. And just to mention the two people that were sick too, people that were the poorest and the sickest got hit the hardest. But at least there's nobody homeless. Like even when I was there too, this was happening, but there was nobody homeless. Also, they have a huge deficit. Just as the finance minister said, 12.2 billion in deficit. Even though they've literally cut all this, like literally have cut everything, and they still have a deficit. So I don't know how they're managing this or what they're smoking. But but even though the one good thing about it is Finland enjoys the cheapest electricity in Europe because they have that much electricity, they don't know what to do with it. But what I'm trying to say is this is the first time since the 60s. Literally, in the 1960s, people were better off than what they are now today, basically, which is insane. And just goes to show you what the true Finns have done, basically, because they've just fucked everything considerably. That's because when you see this is not bossing. But yeah, no, it's pretty much fucked. Yeah, but though it's insane when you see that because basically, sorry, I'm looking for something here. Where the fuck did I see it? Hmm. Where the fuck am I now? Like I can't find it now. Like I showed it on stream. I remember even showing it on stream. Now I can't find it. Hmm. See, it's back. It's back a year ago now. This stitches. It's Jovo. The West has fallen. Hmm. I wonder where it is. I can't remember where the book was. Sorry, give me a second. Like it was a thing, but I can't remember where the fuck it was. Yeah, here we are. So this is who I get all my money off. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm who I happen to get brown envelopes. Can you see my screen? There you can. So the point of them. This was last, you know. Uh, so this is basically not supposed to be a political war because obviously the head of the Finnish intelligence office and security office. So this isn't a political war. Basically, it should be non-political. But himself, remember the true Finns, was literally appointed by somebody who was over the true, like is over security, like over the feds. This is the thing. Member of the true Finns, like he's still a member of the true Finns actually. So a huge conflict of interest. So the true Finns could be trying to shut me up because literally he is like literally that'd be like say the Garda commissioner take this up. That'd be like literally putting in a Fine Gael member into the Garda commissioner role and cracking down on us far right parties. You know, that'd be just like that. Obviously, Garda commissioner loves Fianna Fáil, loves Fine Gael, loves Sinn Féin particularly. Seems to love them. But you know, that'd be just like like literally putting in someone that's literally a member. So, but in fairness to Drew Howard, I don't think he is a member because generally I don't think people would put up with that. He was a member, but long story, he is literally a member. The person over the security service of Finland and the secret, the intelligence service is a member of the True Finns. That's supposed to be a non-political role, basically. That's the thing. It's not supposed to be. You know, he's not supposed to be like a politician. He's not elected. He's supposed to be in the media, like the same as a guy with a member of the army. You're supposed to not really have political beliefs and stuff like that. Someone's got, you know, you're supposed to be kind of neutral. You know, that makes any sense. You're not supposed to be, you know, in a political party. If that makes any sense. Excuse me, sorry. Do. Also, meanwhile, in time for cut department, breaking news. It's time to cut. So this is a parody too, but this is the truth. Like it is true because they've talked about doing this too. So basically, along with cutting people that literally are dying, we're going to cut crime victims, like basically support for crime victims, basically liaison officers and stuff like that. People that get their houses broken into stuff. We're just going to cut all that 22%, cut it by 22%. Let's get that out of you. We don't need that. So basically, if you get attacked or something like that, you know the way you get counselling and stuff like that, support group. So basically, the government and the wisdom in Finland, like, let's cut this by 22%. I don't know what this is now. What is this? I don't even know how to pronounce that, but it's something to do with the Ministry of Housing. Will also be cut to a minimum. Sounds great. And also, I don't know what this. The government will force Visit Finland. So that's like Visit Ireland. So that's the tourism board in Finland. Also, it's contrary to the increasing tourism. So basically, what they're saying here, the government is forcing Visit Finland to change in negotiations, increasing tourism is contrary to the government's program. So basically, they're trying to Finnish government trying to say we don't want to. It's basically because they might find out that we're fucking over everybody. Maybe it's because I can, and that's what happened. But yeah, long story short, that doesn't sound too good. But let's be fair. Like I spent 8,000 to maybe a bit more. That's it. Actually, just even nearly getting there, the hotel and the plane and stuff. So God knows how much I spent going into museums and stuff like that, and going out for something to eat. It could be 10,000. So I put a huge amount of money into the Finnish economy. Well, not me, but take for example, not everybody pays that much, obviously. But what I'm trying to say is, they need tourism. Like every country needs a bit of tourism because only for that the hotels, like the hotels in Helsinki, wouldn't be open. The Sky Wheel and stuff like that was on in Helsinki. Suomenlinna, take for example, the island fortress, wouldn't be doing much business because it's only for the tourists. That's what's keeping a lot of things going. That's a huge amount of money. Like the Irish economy alone is something like 40 billion a year, isn't it? Tourism is worth to the Irish state. So you'd be stupid not to watch tourists, basically. Like you'd be honestly, I know it's only about 4 or 5 million people go to Finland every year, like tourists and stuff. Compared to Ireland, which is 40 or 50 million people come here a year. Like Ireland's very popular with Americans, obviously, but not many people go to Finland because it's very dear, very expensive. Like in June gone by alone, when I was there, something like 2.1 million people went to Finland on visits and to concerts and stuff like that. Most of them were from within Finland and stuff. They travelled around Finland, but still, nonetheless, it was about 1 million people went to Finland in June. And that's a lot of money if you think about hotels or they're staying in Airbnbs or they're staying in apartments or they're staying in this. That's still money. And then obviously buying train tickets at the airport, buying a few things in the street, that's all being taxed, etc., etc. So it's a huge benefit to the country. But don't be saying that, Calvin. But yeah, but I presume that's what it means. I don't know what does this mean. Does anybody know? I don't know. I understand the two things, but I don't get what that means. Is that some kind of care kind of thing? Does anybody know? Can anybody fact check that? Uh, that's lovely. But no, I presume that's what is that. Am I right in saying that that's what they're saying? Like there's such things as Visit Ireland, like it's a tourism group. It's under the Department of Government, and like for tourists to visit the country. So I don't know, increasing tourism. Yeah, like they want to increase tourism. Like when I was there too, they wanted to, but the government seems to don't want to. Like they want to, because it's known to be beneficial too for people to come. Because again, it's a huge part of because nobody be going to the hotels that wouldn't tourists, basically. So it's lunatic. I don't know what this is. I'll try and fact check this now. Is the disease, yeah. But is this care for that they're talking about cutting that allowance? So it's the same as the cancer thing. So it's a medical condition. So I presume it's just for care assistants and nurses and stuff. So they're very nice people, just to say. They're cutting literally everybody. Are they nice? But they haven't cut themselves. You notice how it doesn't say also the MPs, members of parliament, and the prime minister and the president were taking 90% cut to their salary. Nothing like that. There's no such thing as that. You know, there's no such thing as that. I just want to check it because I don't know. Maybe I do. I probably heard of it. Oh, I see. What? Yeah, I've heard of it before. So there's probably allowances for that. Yeah, very. Like, they're nice people, though. And it's only 418 days to go. So yeah, but no, I see what it is. I've often heard of it. But basically, so short. This is for only Joes, basically. So it will be cut to a minimum. So what I presume that is for nurses and stuff like we get nurse visits and stuff. Uh, could be even allowance like money and stuff like that. Be cut to the minimum. So they're very nice people. So basically, is it the disease? I should probably show it out. I had it up on the screen. It affects the small intestine. Um, yeah, so some kind of disease. I don't really know actually, but I've often heard people saying it. So scammers with that. You're probably right. Yeah, but no, but I was just making a point too with the thing. Usually I wouldn't mention it, but I was only making a point in terms of what they were saying here. Because long story short, I was just saying about it. Only for me spending that, that's money going into jobs and into the Finnish economy. It's the same if somebody came here, you know, that's going back into their economy. Yeah. So they're going to cut that out tonight. Nice, nice. It's time to cut. That'd be like the Cavan, this is Cavan. Oh, this is Cavan. That's what it's called. Sorry. This is Cavan being like, oh no, we don't want to us. No, we're not. It's not. This is Cavan. But it'd be like the Cavan County Council saying it because Cavan County Council wouldn't visit Cavan. It's through the local authority. So it'd be like them saying, no, we don't want tourists. Even though again, a lot of places around here would close if they didn't have tourists. That's just to put it straight. Majority of hotels would probably close if they didn't have tourists coming. You know, just to put it straight. Deep. Remember, said no. You're back again. Well, not much. It's time to cut 2.0 basically. That's basically it. Which ask what? Oh no, which Davey said about the other one. It's something to do with ingesting and stuff. I've often heard people talk about it, but never know. Never. I know. I don't think I know anybody that has it. But still, nonetheless, cutting support photo into them, then cutting the support for crime victims and stuff is a bit scummy, to say the least. Where's the Minion? I do have the Minion out too much. I do have him still. Did I tell you I went to see the Minion movie, the last Minion movie? Did I say that to anybody? I just went randomly one day and went to see it. Ooh. Fuck it. Give me a second. Also, it was Moomin Day the other day. I know that sounds such a weird thing to say, but it was Moomin Day the other day. Weird. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. But long story short, the Finnish government, the infinite wisdom, are going to cut supports for it anyway, which still isn't not that great. Let's put that way. In the infinite wisdom, and also people who are victims of crime and stuff like that, they're going to cut. They're going to cut basically. You know the way you get broken into, take for example. There's a liaison officer that comes to your house and checks for security measures and stuff like that. Or if you need counselling and stuff like that after a crime, after you've been assaulted, take for example, you get counselling and stuff, police counselling, etc., etc. Well, the Finnish government, in their infinite wisdom, have decided, you know what, let's cut it by 22%. That'd be great. You know, it's time to cut. So I'm just looking for something specifically. Joe Biden. I can look for later on. Jesus. But still, nonetheless, like I wonder what the support and what they mean by support then. But still, nonetheless, it's not a good time when they cut it anyway. Let's put it that way. But the thing I didn't like about it when they were saying about two was whatever they're trying to get say now. The West has fallen. It's Jova. The West has fallen. So I'm just looking for something specifically. Specific. The Western song. I hate the way when I'm looking for stuff, I can never find it. Like I'm looking for something specifically, and I can't find it. But if I wasn't looking for it, guess what? It'd be literally fucking right in front of me all the time, every day. Let me see. I showed this before, but this is literally what it is. Like this is literally what this woman's up to. Like this is literally what she's at. This is what literally what she's at. To be told, to put it straight, like literally, literally the only thing she does, like it's time to cut. Because again, this woman is the deputy prime minister and the minister for finance. This is the machine behind the madness, basically. So I was thinking she looked familiar too. It is time to cut. Oop. Oop. Big gilly. I showed this before, but it's you know, um, you know, don't know what to think of that one, but it kind of seems a bit true to be totally honest. Like the way she's really acting is, I think she's off her walks. Hopefully, I never come across this woman in real life, because generally it'd be just the biggest discussion ever. Like it generally would turn into a big argument if I was there. Because like I have 100 million things I could argue with her about, basically, about literally how is she putting two and two together, like because it's insane. Like, generally, it's insane. Like literally, that's literally what she's wearing in the parliament. This is the one that's cutting all the money, just to say, of people that literally are struggling at the moment, and she's literally going around with like that in the Finnish parliament. I don't really know what to tell you, but but this is the woman that's the deputy prime minister, and uh, you know, but it's literally the deputy prime minister, and that's what she's like. Like, because, like, lucky she wasn't there that day, the whatever you call her. I can never pronounce her name in Finnish. But, thankfully she wasn't there that day, because, it would have been a big debate. No, I generally would call her out and be like, what kind of a bollocks. Like, what kind of an idiot are you, basically? Because you made things I don't know how to blame the woman behind me. Like, let's put it that way, because like everything's got worse basically. There was none of this that people seeking help and stuff like that. And then as soon as the woman left behind us and she took over, uh, like no, the new government took over. Everything's just completely fucked. Let's put it that way. So everybody wants this woman behind me back. They should have never got rid of her in the first place. I'm sure everybody can agree with that. They should have kept this woman the way she was. Let's put it that way. Because none of this would have happened if this woman was still in charge. Taxes might have went up a bit, but apart from that, I don't think what has happened would have happened. Yes, but let's put that. It is the truth. If this woman was still in, none of this carry on would happen, basically. Because because it's because of the change of government and stuff like that. So you can see why a lot of people want Santa back. That's just the truth. People just want Santa back because it get us back to the good old days. Because whatever about it's not busting. It's just not busting. The woman in the blue, the woman in the blue. Also, going back to the Wyatts for a second, just give me a second. Just going back to the Wyatts for a second. Hopefully, Keir Starmer's not watching. Keir Starmer's in the chat. So, Liz Truss, the former British Prime Minister, the one who lost her seat, as everybody would say in the comments on this, it's astonishing. Just see the former tweet, just to show you. So this is a Labour MP for Birmingham, and as we were talking about earlier on, this is to do with Sky News. I'm sure people have been seeing this video. So as we said, there's a group of Muslim men here in Birmingham, and as you can see, they interrupt the Sky News reporter. And this fellow has a knife here, or somewhere. One of these people have a knife. So somebody would fucking with a sword over that side. But basically, the force of life, you see there, he's up in his pocket there. That fellow, a knife and stuff like that. And basically, the MP, this member, like this is a government minister here, in the Labour minister. She basically was saying, but these people at the location because because it was supposed to be a demonstration, far right demonstration, etc., etc. And she basically just ignored these people with knives and masks and a bloody sword over across to the side of the road, and just completely ignored that, And she's then being, in fairness to Liz Truss. Liz, like out of all people, Liz Truss, she's like as astonishing that the Home Office is excused in mass talk. Like this woman never mentioned it. In fairness to Liz Truss, she actually said something actually useful. Like Liz Truss is a bit of a tour. She's like the leader of the True Finns. I wouldn't be surprised if the True Finns are actually talking to her because she knows how to work an economy. She only lasts a few days, but like Liz Truss is the best to ask about working an economy. But long story short, this literally Liz Truss has actually done something good. As you can see, Liz, she gets ratioed into oblivion. But you can actually see here people actually agree with her. People actually agreed with Liz Truss, the person who literally bankrupted the United Kingdom. She actually said something true for once. That she actually, after losing her seat and all that, she's actually talking sense. Ooh, what about I click that? Because this is not sense. Let's put it that way. No, but I would probably, if I did meet him in Parliament, that other one, the leader of the True Finns, I would have gotten mad though with other stuff like it nonsensical because the thing she's doing is nonsensical. Because let's be fair, it basically didn't make any difference. Like they cut 9 billion in public funding out of social welfare, out of sickness and stuff like that, and it basically did nothing. It did nothing. They still have debt, have heavier debt than they did before. But anyway, thank you very much, Gordon, for being here tonight. I'll chat to you later. And thank you for being here. Monkey. Mm-hmm. We have a few more things we need to discuss. But give me a second. So Drew Harris is probably going to be gone in a few months' time, or a year, or a few years' time, I think. When is it up? Actually, I never checked. Oh, so 2 more years. He's 2 more years as Garda Commissioner. So yeah, 2 more years. That's all. Yeah. So this is Drew, the OIC man. So basically, long story short, uh, no talking to extending his meeting. So as you can see, Mr. House was appointed Garda Commissioner for 5 years, so it was extended by 2 years. So he'd be soon getting the sack, basically. He'd be soon out of the. So he'd be soon gone. So Drew is going to be gone, and same would probably. But not much loss because Drew House. To be totally honest, we have no guard that's from Ireland that could be Garda Commissioner, somebody from Inland Garda Síochána. Why do we have to go from Timbuktu to get a guard or to get a Garda Commissioner? It's the same with the Deputy Commissioner. They were talking about getting a Canadian woman to be the Deputy Commissioner in Ireland. It's insane. And it's Gardaí here that worked all their life in Garda Síochána that we could get as Commissioner. That's even in there was in Garda Síochána. Because let's be fair, what does somebody from Canada know about policing in Ireland? Or as a Garda would even know how to pronounce Garda. Let's put it that way. But long story short, Drew Howe is no good, no addition. Maybe the PSNI he should be in the PSNI mode and the Garda Síochána. But again, the OIC and the Garda are nearly the one and the same. The PSNI and the Garda Síochána is very little distinguish themselves nowadays from. They never left, unfortunately. The thing. But just when I'm here looking at the side of this, it's a very interesting photo to use for it. But the former YouTube CEO died today. Now, it is very tragic because the son only died there in February. I think he committed suicide. So it's obviously very tragic. So, may she rest in peace. But obviously your son, she took it very. It's sad to see that happen. Yeah. I say we probably go in another 10 minutes. I'd say leave the West. There's a few more things I want there. But I think we leave it for tonight at 9. So I think we just chat among ourselves for a few minutes. How does that sound? Because I could literally be on for another few hours. Give me a moment now, so. So, this is not related to Ireland or anything that in a way. But just what the topic. So this is one of the biggest YouTubers. It is the biggest YouTuber, Mr. Beast. You probably afford him. Now, his friend was involved in some disgusting, with inappropriate actions, which people that are underage, basically, one of these fuckers. Now, just to say, I don't know the Mr. Beast know about it. We don't know. He never really said much. This is basically all he said about the situation. So we don't know what Did he know, etc. So, but it is true that she literally did. Now, I wouldn't even give it the title she, but this person um, was grooming underage children. It's very clear to be seen. It's very obvious. And not even to mention, there's other allegations, not here, but there's other allegations of him faking these videos, etc., etc., and basically treating them like people, the contestants and stuff. You've probably seen these challenges, like dogs, basically treating them like dogs. So very disturbing, especially because in fairness, I thought Mr. Beast was good, like particularly these charity things, cleaning the sea, etc., etc. So hopefully that wasn't just all fake; it was just all a big scam. And there's other accusations and stuff like that. I could be here all day talking about. But long story short, I think very low on Mr. Beast nowadays because of this. If I did know about this, and I even think worse of him than I did now. So it's hard to know. Did he know? What did he know? How long did he know? Etc. Etc. But we wait and see, I suppose. Yeah, I won't even. She's not a pose. Not a woman. What is a woman? I could go on about the Olympics, but I probably would be banned. I have to be careful what I say, so I'm not going to talk about the beginning, like the so-called woman that won the medal and stuff for Algeria. I'm not allowed to say too much. I say on YouTube, but I'm sure you know my opinion on that. I just said no man should be competing in a woman's sports, in a woman's boxing ring or whatever it may be. No man should be. And no woman should be competing in the man's sports. As simple as that. It should be woman on woman and man on man. As simple as that. If it's in boxing or if it's in wrestling or whatever it may be. Simple as that. And that might be far right or extremist, but it's simple as that. That's just my view. And there's only two genders. I know I'll probably get banned for that, but there's only generally two genders. And there's no such thing as in between. And that's what I generally believe. So you can, Keir Starmer can lock me up and throw away the key. That's the belief. And even locking me up won't change that opinion. So, and simple as that. Because, democracy. Yeah, I wouldn't go that far yet in saying about Mr. Beast. We have to see, did he know about it? Obviously knows about it now, but how long did he know beforehand? That's the thing. So we're giving him the benefit of the doubt now, but obviously has other accusations, etc., etc., about it. But but that's generally what I believe. I could say more about it, but again, if I get away with that, it's a very sad world that happens because there's people literally committing real crimes and there's not a word said about it. Because it's just my opinion. Always. Bum, 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 bum. No, Badjo. But yeah, no, there's other stuff we could talk about. Like I've not talked about all the Mr. Beast stuff. I talked about it another day. When there's more information and stuff, we talk about it a bit more. I just briefly wanted to talk about, mention it when I was here. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, but the reason why the real woman, only lasted 46 seconds, because again, if you get hit by a man as a woman, obviously a man has a lot more strength than a woman. It's obvious. It's not sexist. It's obvious that a man has more of a power in his hand. and getting punched in the face by a man is nearly like abusing your wife, etc., etc. So no wonder why she only lasted 46 seconds, because let's be fair, she got punched by a man in the face, not a woman, a man. That has a lot more power than her. People have to get that into their head, that no wonder she only lasted 46 seconds. Igabola. Bim, 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 bim. What? Give me a moment. So I'm just tricking about the things here. I know it's kind of been all over the place now tonight, this stream. See. Does anybody know what flow? Is there any cuts called flow or something like that? Like, what is flow? I know. Does anybody know? Just before I go, it's FLOW, whatever that means. Some kind of cuts of the event. Does anybody know? Anyway, I don't know. I find it out. I know. But anyway, I think we leave it there for tonight. Thank you, everyone. It's been a good bit of a long stream anyway. A good bit got through, but we have a lot more to talk about than another night. My throat's gone. To be fairly honest, we're talking too much. But we see. There's no word on that yet, but yeah, we leave it there. I look into it anyways. So yeah, well, we're not playing tonight now, unfortunately. I don't think, even though we have things to play, but so we get around to it at some stage, hopefully. Anyway, take care, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your night. Hopefully, we'll be back Wednesday. We see you now. How we get on. But anyway, thank you for watching. Talk to you later, and goodbye.